going on, Jerome's? Happy Sunday. Why are you so sweaty? I was watching Cops, right? So I feel like I have to premise every single one of these videos saying that it's been amazing with slinging Sammy Darnold. If he's back, so be it. But I love JJ McCarthy. He's going to be the future, right? And it's a good problem for the Vikings to have. It's not your usual quarterback controversy, like back in the day, of who is less ass. No, it's you have two very good quarterbacks. Oh, but if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. No, you have two good quarterbacks. And also, I think Kevin O'Connell in this locker room has the leadership to be able to withstand a potential quarterback controversy if Darnold is back. All right. So that being said, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. But slinging Sammy Darnold has become America's quarterback. Damn straight, and he's played himself into some cash. Whether it's here or somewhere else, he's going to get paid. But the Vikings, of course, do have JJ McCarthy waiting in the wings. Yes, coming off the meniscus repair, except he'll be fine and good to go. All the concerns by no, he's going to be perfectly fine, right? And he was the highest drafted Vikings quarterback in team history. Traded up to go get him, and they're not going to let him go. So all that stuff of, hey, maybe the Vikings move on from McCarthy, even though Kevin O'Connell, hand-picked quarterback, 21 years young. They can grow and show and mind meld together. Plus, even though Darnold has been absolutely phenomenal this season in terms of, and it sort of is like that Family Guy thing. It's like, well, Sam Darnold is a boat, but JJ McCarthy could be anything, including a boat. I just think that the ceiling and the physical tools, the mental makeup of JJ McCarthy working with Kevin O'Connell has a chance to make him one of the best young quarterbacks in the game, right? Long story longer, I hate that we have to keep bringing this up, but the Pioneer Press is the second paper of note here in the Twin Cities, right? And Charlie Shooter Walters has been around the block, right? He's been a sports writer in this market for decades. And I don't know what it is. Like as of like the last couple of years, he's just gone full on, full bore, rumor, conjecture, clickbait. And maybe that's just the incentive structure of the news media nowadays, where instead of having everything vetted, every piece of rumor and innuendo, just like. Now, I'm not saying that Shooter doesn't have his sources. He obviously does. He's been in this industry for a long time, but I don't know, man. It's even more salacious than some of like the fan blogs, right? I can't find fan fiction that is as fanciful as this. I don't know, but Shooter, did up a piece, talk about how O'Connell's going to get paid, saying he's probably going to get $12 million a year, which pay O'Connell, pay Kwesi, pay Flores if he stays, and go from there. But in the don't print that section, which. Unless it talks about Darnold and JJ McCarthy. Unless he falters in the final 3 regular season games, it looks like the Vikings would use the 1-year franchise tag on Sam Darnold. Oh, they're just going to use it. There's no other discussion. Expected to be about 42 million as a free agent. 27-year-old quarterback played $10 million a season. Could expect a 3-year deal in the $140 million range. Just like put it out there. A statement of fact is like, oh yeah, he's going to get 3 years. It was a 47 million per. That's what he's going to get. Okay. There remains a lot of moving parts regarding next year's Vikings quarterback situation. Should the Vikings, who have just 3 picks, 2 are 5th rounders. Oh, loaded. No, 2 are 5th rounders. But also they're in line for the 3rd round compensatory pick. Also, they have a 7th round pick, by the way. In next year's draft, sign Darnold long term. It's not far fetched that they consider trading this year's 1st round pick, still unproven, and rehabbing 2 knee procedures, JJ McCarthy. That would be worth at least a 1st round pick to the Vikings. But if there's so much concern about his knee and coming off of 2 procedures, even though one was just a routine injection, wouldn't teams have cause for pause about trading for him? Can't really have it both ways. Whose 2025 first round pick currently looks to be in the 28 range. If Darnold were to leave via free agency, the Vikings could expect a compensatory draft pick in the 3rd round range, but not until 2026. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't even mention the tag and trade option, which is probably the most viable as of right now. And yeah, Darnold would be in demand, and same thing with JJ McCarthy if he was available in trade, because the quarterback group this year, both free agents outside of Darnold, it's Kirk Cousins. Maybe Daniel Jones. And the draft, it's depending on what happens with Moreau, it's a 2-quarterback draft with Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. But I don't know. No. First off, no. I don't think that the Vikings would just flip JJ McCarthy, even if they signed Sam Darnold. So, say best case scenario, slinging Sammy Darnold goes on a heater, goes all 2012 Joe Flacco, wins the Vikings the Super Bowl, gets a Super Bowl MVP. The Vikings sign him to a long-term extension. you still keep JJ McCarthy, right? Because there's so much value in having a quarterback on his rookie deal, whether he's your starter or your backup, because guess what? The season, there's a lot of attrition, and knocking on all the wood, teams have injuries at quarterback a lot, and plus there's a ton of value in growing and developing quarterbacks within your stable. And we talked about how I would love if Kevin O'Connell just turns into the island of misfit quarterbacks and just finds a way to fix, like he has a horse farm that breaks down stallions and turns them into usable horses, and then just trades compensatory picks all over the place, whether it's a former first round, second round quarterback busts, or whether it's young quarterbacks you bring into the system. It would be fantastic. Plus, also with McCarthy, like, there's no pressure. Like, it's a great luxury to have. Plus, if it comes down to, like, say Sam Darnold pans out on his potential and the Vikings sign him to a long-term deal and he's a nail driver, pipe hitting, type top 5 quarterback, you can always trade McCarthy later. And guess what? His trade value, if he proves that he's healthy, because, there's so much concern about the knee, even though it's fine. But if you have more great preseason tape and more camp tape outside of that one preseason game, and maybe he plays some scrub time after Darnold gives the Vikings a 50-point lead, guess what? That value is going to go up and up and up, even though it probably will be decently high this year. A lot of teams did their homework on McCarthy last year. Not much has changed as long as that knee checks out, which will be fine. And yes, like we said, I mean, this offseason is Shedeur, it's Cam Ward, and it's Kirk Cousins if you don't get Sam Darnold, right? But I don't know. Like, this is obviously ridiculous. Kevin O'Connell, like we said, best case scenario, even if Darnold wins the Super Bowl and is extended for forever, why would you just move McCarthy? Just so you can pick up an extra first-round pick, especially since the Vikings have so much in salary cap space. And even if they do put the franchise tag or long-term deal with Darnold, like, they can still maneuver and be big-time players in free agency. So there isn't necessarily a rush to just replenish this rooster. And are you going to do it for just one first-round pick? No, it's ridiculous. Now, if you get blown away by like 2 firsts and change and a starter, maybe, but nah. I think that even if Darnold is back, JJ McCarthy is here. If Darnold is gone, I think it'll be JJ McCarthy and Daniel Jones. So, yeah, like, I don't know what it is. Like we said, like, we try not to do clickbait on this channel, but it's kind of hard to do nowadays. But that's not even like new age clickbait, because Shooter's like 97 years old. I don't get it, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. No. Let us know. Comment section. You guys know what to do. Skull production value.